In this tutorial, we will cover entering groups and standards into DataLink. DataLink provides the ability to add and save your state and local standards. Within DataLink, this feature is called Groups and Standards. However, your institution might refer to them as learning objectives or simply objectives. We will refer to this feature as Groups and Standards. Although DataLink 3 does not come preloaded with your state standards, you can add them to use with your tests. When standards or learning objectives are entered, you can align test questions to them, which will enable you to access the class and student proficiency reports within DataLink. There are two ways to load standards into DataLink. The first is by entering standards into the reusable master standards list, and the second is to assign standards directly to the answer key for a specific test. Entering standards to the master list allows you to assign groups and standards to questions on future tests without re-entering them into the DataLink program each time, as the master list is stored in DataLink in order to apply to future tests. To see the standards or objectives already added to your master standards list, or to add additional standards, simply click on the View drop-down and on the menu bar scroll down to Master Standards List. This will show you what is already saved as well as allow you to add new standards to the master list. When adding a new standard into DataLink, you will be able to name the standard and choose to add in the optional descriptive and prescriptive fields. It is a good idea to use short but descriptive names for your standards. If DataLink is used by more than one individual or for more than one course, it would be important that you clearly name the standards, clearly identifying the grade, subject, and standard. The descriptive field describes the learning objective. This is the objective that the students will need to know to get the question associated with the standard correct. The prescriptive field will allow you to show where additional information can be found on that topic if the student were to miss the question. It could reference a particular section of a textbook, website, worksheet, or so on. Both fields are optional, but can be used as tools to indicate the objective that is being tested and where to locate additional information if needed. Once the descriptive and prescriptive fields have been completed or skipped and OK is selected, the standard will then be added to the master list. Repeat this process to add all standards to the master list. Once the master list has been created, it can also be altered. Names of standards can be edited or deleted, and the placement of standards can even be rearranged by clicking on the appropriate buttons. Once the standards have been entered into the master standards list, you can then align standards with your test questions for a particular test. To do that, you must first create and load a key into DataLink and navigate to the key editor. The key editor is the function in DataLink that will allow you to electronically alter your scanned paper test key. In the key editor, you can align standards to test questions and then save the key in an electronic format. In the key editor view, you can name the group and begin aligning standards to your test. The group, also commonly referred to as the strand, goal, or skill, is simply a name for the higher level learning objective to which the standards belong. Each test can have several different groups depending on the content of the test. Once all group names have been created, you can add the standards that apply to each group. This is where having your standards saved in the master list is helpful. Once you have entered your groups, you can simply access the master list and add the standards as needed. Once all standards have been assigned to the test, you can apply them to individual questions by using the Add Remove Questions button. Use the arrow button to assign or remove the questions to the standard. Please note that it is important that you do not enter groups or standards to which no questions are assigned. A single question can be assigned to more than one standard if desired. If you want to link only one standard, then mark the box at the bottom to limit to unassigned questions. One of the benefits of using groups and standards is it allows you to set a proficiency level. You can move the proficiency level up or down based on what your school or district has outlined as being proficient. This information will be available on the reports after you scan your answer sheets. Once the standards have been assigned and the proficiency level set, you will need to resave the key to ensure that the changes are saved. From the menu bar, select File and scroll down to Save Key. You can then resave your key with the newly assigned standards. In doing this, the electronic key is now saved with the assigned standards and proficiency level. The second way to enter groups and standards is to enter and assign them separately for each test by assigning them to the key. To do that, you must first create and load a key into DataLink. After the key is loaded into DataLink, click on the Key Editor. This will take you to the screen where the key can be manipulated and standards assigned and saved to the key. Once in the Key Editor, click on the Groups and Standards icon to open the window to add a new standard. You will first need to add the title of the group to which the standard will belong. After that has been created, click on the Add button to the right of the screen for the standards to be created. A new box will open that will allow you to add the name of the standard along with the descriptive and prescriptive information. Just like adding a standard to the master list, these boxes are optional but helpful when filled in. At the bottom of the window there is a box to Add to Master List. This will allow you to both save the standard to the key you have loaded in DataLink, and it will also transfer the standard to the master list to be used on other tests as needed. We recommend always marking this box so that standards only have to be entered once and then can be accessed anytime for future tests from the master list. Once OK is selected, the new standard will be added to the master list and also assigned to the loaded key. Once all standards have been assigned to the test, you can apply them to individual questions by using the Add Remove Questions button. Use the arrow buttons to assign or remove questions to the standard. Just like when using the master list, a single question can be assigned to more than one standard if desired. If you want to link only one standard per question, then mark the box at the bottom to limit to unassigned questions. Once all standards have been assigned to the multiple test questions, you will need to resave your loaded key. Resaving the key will ensure that all standards you just entered are saved to your key. From the menu bar, select File and scroll down to Save Key. You can then resave your key with the newly assigned standards. In doing this, the electronic key is now saved with the assigned standards, and the standards entered were also saved to the Master Reusable Standards list. If you have additional questions on loading your state standards into DataLink, please contact a member of our technical support team at 800-827-9219.